Greetings. This is Power Up Nursing's first podcast of 2025. And if the month of January is any indicator of where our platform for tens of thousands of subscribed nurses is going, it's going to be a phenomenal year. As many of you know, and some of you don't know, our mission is to advance the science and the spirit of nursing. Today, I am so excited to talk about an aspect of science that nurses need to know about. And I just learned about this recently. I always knew about vagus nerve, and we're going to learn about that from the CEO and founder of a company in just a few moments. But I didn't know that there were interventions that were inexpensive and effective to change my life. A friend of mine who has chronic anxiety disorder told me about a little device that was very cool and very simple. And it's called Pulsetto. And it goes to your vagus nerve points on your neck. And what it does is it cuts the feelings, the primitive feelings of anxiety and stress that go to your brain and take over. As nurses, we know that one of the leading causes of burnout is that feeling of hopelessness, anxiety, overwhelming. And about 4 or 5 months ago, I looked into a relationship with Pulsetto for nurses. And today is a groundbreaking moment. It's the introduction of Povilas Sabaliauskas, who's the CEO and founder of Pulsetto, who is taking time for his globally busy schedule to talk to us about a better mental health with the Pulsetto lifestyle. Welcome, Povilas. I hope I didn't butcher your name.
Everything is perfect. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure, to spread our mission basically to talk about Pulsetto.
Yes, and nurses, and you know this, I'm sure, around the world, but particularly in the United States, are the most trusted profession for advice on health, but absolutely all the way around, right? So today we want our nurses to know about Pulsetto, what it does, how it can help them, and most importantly, how it can help their patients. We don't need to do too much science because there's going to be a complementary video that goes into the science. But Povilas, who is this good for and why?
So I can do both things. How we came up with this idea, if you're interested. So basically, I was working previously with implantable devices. I was like a liaison for neuromodulation companies. So implantable vagus nerve stimulators, deep brain stimulators, spinal cord stimulators, and I was working with neurosurgeons most of all. And one of them was vagus nerve stimulators, who are for drug-resistant epilepsy and drug-resistant depression.
Okay.
So yeah, so this was my primary, let's say, like a product on which I was working. I was working in Baltic states and also Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and other countries. So I was teaching how to use the implantable device for neurologists. But my
The
father became
invasive.
quite for the invasive. Yeah, my father became very ill, and I had good connections with all basically medical community in that region. Try to find what is happening because he was like slowly fading. And I talked with neurosurgeons, neurologists, neuroscientists, and I said, what kind of neuromodulation technology can help? Because medication we already tried, but nothing worked. Some therapies, etc. And one thing led to another, and PNS was one of the solutions that I was quite informed, and it was the most easiest approach to try to tackle, because it seemed that he was depressed or something, and we could not find the root cause. But first of all, I tried to find external device on which I just want to try on him, but I could not find any company which was available in Europe or wanted to ship to Lithuania. So what do engineers do? If we cannot find it, we can build it. So
Yes.
this was basically one of the things how I came up with this device, and also I had my co-founder Vitalis. So he's from marketing side, business
Mhm.
development. Yeah, I could not finish the product in time. My father passed away, but
Oh,
the
I'm so
mission
sorry.
left as is, and we understood vagus nerve stimulation has huge potential, and in various
Mhm.
types of fields. Right now, like a side effect, as I mentioned, the start of vagus nerve stimulation is for drug-resistant epilepsy. Later, as a side effect, we found that it helps with drug-resistant depression. Later,
Mhm.
as a side effect, migraines, cluster headaches, colitis,
Wow.
and
Anything that's
other.
stimulated by anxiety, cortisol,
Yeah,
vagus nerve excitement.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
Burnout.
but yeah, so potential is huge, and we understand this is needed because first line of defense is basically medication, but medication takes 2 to 3 weeks just to ramp up the let's
Bubbles,
say
this
the efficacy.
I
Yeah,
put this on. We were having our symposium in Louisville at Norton Hospital,
yeah,
and I put this on, and I was sitting there listening to a speaker, and I put it on. I think it's the sleep mode. I thought that would be the most relaxing. It was crazy. I mean, I wasn't tired. I was pretty hyped up, but in about 3 minutes, I felt a difference. I feel the little pulsation.
mm,
We'll do a demonstration in a moment for our
yeah,
nurses, but it is immediate.
yeah,
Now, there's science behind all this. Yes, Povilas, I know
yeah,
that I'm on your email list, so I get new research almost every week. How long
yeah.
has how long have you been in business? How long have you been selling very reasonably priced, life-changing devices?
So in business, as we let's say establish company, it's already 3.5 years. But in general, in the background, we already like I don't know 5 to 6 years. So ideas, is it needed? Do some market research. But in general, yeah, as a company, we started sales at 2021 in December. So we started on similar platform like Kickstarter. We try to build up traction to understand if it is needed on the
Mhm,
market, and we
mhm,
saw huge potential because a lot of customers were generated from that side, and we had enough funds to start propelling us to the right track. But on the efficacy, I wanted to say one thing. There is a feeling, that I would say electricity travels through body the fastest. If you ever touch live wires, you see that it's instant. So this
yeah.
is one of the key benefits of Pulsetto. If it works instantly. So some people may maybe take time because we are, let's say, a burnout or etc. But in
Mhm,
general,
mhm,
electricity has this kind of benefit. It works instantly and does not have any mm, problems with getting used to it, because from implantable
mhm,
devices there are more than 50 years of data from deep brain stimulation, vagus nerve stimulation, that you would not get acquaintance to it, and it will not be some effect which will diminish over time.
mhm. Who are your
Yeah,
primary customers? I know you've had a lot of growth. I mean, I see it.
yeah.
I see it in your website. I see it in
Mm.
people who now know what Pulsetto is. So how are you getting your word out there? And who's your main customers at this point? And how can we experience this?
Yeah. So we have strangely several categories, but one of people who are anxious and stressed, usually, let's say, people who have very stressful work or working hours. So this is one of the core people who are buying this because they can reduce stress and also
Mhm,
improve sleep. Also, night shift or shift workers also like our device, because when you have to switch several times your working schedule in a month, it's very hard on your body because your circadian rhythms are
mhm.
getting out of control.
Absolutely. Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And the fourth one, which was not basically we did not encounter previously. It was people who are trying to optimize their well-being. So people who have
Wellness
uh,
junkies.
yeah, wellness junkies, biohackers, and they were saying, "Okay, vagus nerve stimulators, give it to me. I have all the data on myself, and I will
Mhm.
say, does it work or not on biometric side,
Yeah,
not on
yeah,
feeling
that's what I
side."
do. I use
Yeah,
the Ultra Human Ring, and I can
yeah,
use this. I can reduce my anxiety, and I can see the HRV on my app. It's like a little.
yeah,
I'm not a naturally scientific person, but this is a scientific intervention that I can see on my Ultra Human app, which is super cool. I actually have to introduce you guys. It's very nice.
yeah, yeah. It would be great. You know, so that is. So let's say like biohackers or junkies are
Wellness
very good.
junkies, I call them. Yeah.
Wellness junkies are very good. Let's say. Uh, customer base because they have a data and they can say, okay, is it working or not? You know, for
Mhm.
anxiety and stress, if you're not tracking, it's a little bit harder. You have to understand your body's interoception, feelings, and etc. But you know, if you do some journaling or something similar, you can easily check if it is helping or not. Yeah.
I had a nurse that purchased one before
Yeah.
we had a Power Up Nursing affiliate website. I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm going to put it up in a minute for you. But she purchased one, and she was a cigarette smoker. And
Okay.
she said that this helped her when she was starting, especially in the morning when she would have a cup of coffee and all she wanted was a nicotine fix. She said this helped her. I've asked her to do a testimonial so I can send it to you guys, that it was profound. She said maybe in the beginning it only worked 1 out of 3 times, but now it's consistent. She puts it on. She puts, I think she said anxiety mode. You don't have an addiction mode that you should, Povilas, addiction mode. But it's not funny. I mean,
Yeah.
this is really powerful to disconnect those cravings and those urges that cause anxiety, which cause you to reach for drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, food.
So this is one of the alleyways which we will tackle in the future. We know this that there are some neuromodulation technologies like vagus nerve stimulators who can, let's say, improve addiction. So there are trials on even, let's say, opioids. So
Mhm.
we know that this
Wow.
is a huge potential, but just to get this kind of trial in the US, it costs a lot of money. So we're planning to do this, but we do not know how we can get this kind of funding because we need to have a certain type of population and
Oh, well, I
yeah.
have a very good contact at a VA hospital that might be very interested in, you
Okay.
know, somewhat funding this for PTSD, but also for addiction. It works. So, I understand the clinical trials and the FDA, it just costs millions. And it
Yeah.
really is prohibitive to small startups that have technology that can help millions. So, yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk offline about that.
Okay,
Um,
amazing. I would be very happy, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So quick
Mm.
question to you. Well, let me just show people at home. So this is
Yeah.
the device. You turn it on. It doesn't cost anything because some of us know that sometimes you get ripped off on apps. And you go here, and I'm going to find my Pulsetto. So your Pulsetto, hello Tanya, will come up, and there's sessions in stress, anxiety, sleep, burnout. Nurses, there's a burnout and pain, which I haven't used yet. And I feel bad because, my co-founder of Power Up Nursing has an entire pain program. So I need to get her involved. She's a neuroscientist. So those are our areas. And you can track and set your schedule for day to day. And then it's this simple. You want a transducer gel. I've tried it without it and it just doesn't work as well. So it's kind of like when you go for an ultrasound and you're going to just put a little bit on each side of your neck. It's a little bit cool, but it's not messy or anything like that. It's a rather cool looking device. You don't have to wear it out, but I kind of do because I'm trying to sell them now to benefit our nurses. So, we put it on. Did I put it? Yeah. You put it on and then you choose your let me try anxiety. And it's a 6-minute program. I'm going to turn it on and I have it on intensity 5. but it goes up to 9. And I'm the kind of person that never does anything in moderation. So I'll start at 9. And what happens, I'm going to get my turtleneck out, is that you feel it's kind of like a tiny little, oh, it's cool. It's a tiny little vibrating, spiraling sensation right on your nerves. And
So
actually,
it
you can hear,
feels to
yeah, go ahead.
majority of people like a tingling sensation, like
Tingling. That's the
small
word.
needles or something like this. But
Mhm,
it is because it has quite high frequency and it feels like
mhm,
vibration. But in general, our signal is created between two electrodes to penetrate the skin, penetrate muscle level, and activate afferent vagus nerve fiber. So which from the body goes to the brain. So we do not send any signals to the body itself. We are basically switching the state of your vagus nerve. So you have two states, fight or flight and rest and digest. In general, you should be fluid during the day, switching between two states because you know
you
uh,
need both,
being
right?
in constant fight or flight mode, your digestion does not work, liver, kidney. It's basically on a idle mode because you need to remove the stressors around you. But what happens? Your body does not differentiate stress from small notifications, work-related things. Your body does not differentiate real stressors to artificial stressors.
Mhm,
And basically, you sometimes you forget to switch between two states. And what happens? Your body all basically forgets how to switch states. So this is where we come in. Basically, we put your body involuntarily activate those fibers which are responsible for rest and digest state. We send that signal. Your brain says, "Okay, your body is trying to relax. I will send the
mhm,
signal to all the internal organs to start relaxing." So usually, your heart rate is getting a little bit lower, blood pressure is getting a little bit lower, heart rate variability is increasing.
mhm.
So you're basically going to the rest and digest mode. So it's a quite simple mechanism of action, but in general, in very, let's say, like appealing way.
I've seen them at conferences,
Mm,
biohacking conferences, on the
yeah,
wrist. And
yeah.
why is this superior?
So I would say like this: we are creating our device is basically created for vagus nerve stimulation.
Mhm,
On the wrist, they are vibrating, or I do not know about which device you're talking about, but in general, you are talking about device which is vibrating.
mhm,
So
mhm,
vibration might get you like a soothing feeling, which might activate your vagus nerve, but it does not impact or activate vagus nerve. So in general, if you put the cat and the cat starts pouring on your chest, it's very relaxing. But it does not mean that it activates vagus nerve. We directly
right.
impact vagus nerve. So the difference is that we know that we're impacting, we're faster, and we know mechanism of action. On that side, you have to, let's say, find the connection, how you might switch your body state into rest and digest. So
That's great.
indirect
I just want to describe in
effect.
as much as I can, and I'm going to take it off because it really honestly prevents my mind from racing, which is a good thing. But when
Yeah,
I'm doing a podcast, I need to be kind of all over the place. And
yeah,
people who are listening and watching, I actually feel like I just want to sit back and take a deep breath. The automatic instinct after wearing this for less than a minute was breathe. That is a powerful reminder of the leading way that we can control stress and increase our heart rate variability is by slowing down our breathing and giving our heart a chance to really function as it should. But it's a wonderful feeling. And this is the anxiety one. The sleep one, I find, really does do the sleep thing. It's very powerful. I'm going to try the pain one because when I get a headache, I usually just run, for I actually use peppermint oil and ibuprofen. One of them works. But this is just an amazing experience. Now, I want to tell people who are watching, because I really want you to try this. It is not expensive. What is the current retail price?
It depends on when you are buying it. So I guess near the Valentine's Day should be some
Uh-huh.
discounts, in my opinion, because I know it's from marketing side. But in general, it's around 250 USD. So
That's
the
it.
price is just, yeah, that's it. So we know that the more devices we sell, the more word of mouth customers we get. So right now
Yeah.
our entry level is quite easy, and
Mhm.
as you mentioned, people who have migraines, we know that it helps. We do not have any proof right now, but it helps. So we see that, okay, one person is buying, it helps, and we see that mother, sister, father is buying also the device, because usually those kind of diseases are hereditary. So the more we sell, the more cheaper customer we get. So
Yeah.
word of
Yeah.
mouth is our best,
And we're
basically,
going to talk about the
sales
medical
channel.
device that's in the future, the new technologies.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to go to Power Up Nursing. Most of you who are listening know how to do that. And then there's a shop drop down. Currently, it's under stress. I think I'm going to add it under pain soon enough, and sleep. But if you click on that, you will have a link that benefits Power Up Nursing and our nurse platform. But it also gives you an additional Power Up discount and whatever discounts on the website. So it goes directly with our little special URL to pulsetto.com. It is really worth it. What I really love about this thing is that it's not just me. I can use it on my family, right? So I have a 13-year-old boy who has a lot of anxiety. I mean, all teenagers do, but he asks for it when he's watching TV. I haven't tried it on my 9-year-old granddaughter, who's with me too, because she's just perfect, man. She won't. I'm never in pain. I'm never in, but I'm going to try her because she's home today, not feeling well. But it's amazing. So unlike some other devices, including the Ring, I can't let anybody else use my Ring to monitor or anything. This is something that in your immediate family you can use. But I'll guarantee you, your husband's going to want his own, or your wife's going to want her own, because you can literally take it to work and in between stressful meetings, just chill for 10 minutes, 6 minutes. This is 6 minutes only of your life. Um, so tell us a little bit before we close out today, a little bit about what's coming down the pike for Pulsetto and what we as, those in healthcare can look forward to.
So a lot of things are going in the background. So this is our first generation device. So we did some already small changes inside the algorithm and etc. But we're planning to launch, I don't know, this year, but in Q3, the second generation device, which will be maybe more comfortable, but this will be in the future. Also, we started to do more clinical trials, more data, because the more people are using it, the more universities are contacting us, and we're building some clinical trials. So we have a lot of things in the making, and this year in
Mm-hmm.
Q4 we will launch medical device. So we right now this is a wellness device, but with that device we will have the ability to claim it can heal, or I don't know, nothing can heal, but it can help you to mitigate migraines or IBD or any other condition. So the first is basically for migraines, I think,
Mm-hmm.
first trial, which will be
Oh,
the
wow.
fastest one.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, we have some in the making blood pressure trials, which is also basically linked with stress, but
Didn't even
this is
think about
huge.
that.
Yeah.
It's huge, right? It's such a huge problem
Yeah.
around the world, but
Yeah.
it's something that contributes to death. I mean, it contributes to heart disease, which, wow.
So we see huge potential because everyone knows 120 over 80 is, let's say, perfect, but 140 over 80, 90 is already like first. I do not know in English how to, but basically hypertension already. So
Mm.
anything in between, we can tackle. So
Okay.
139, we can stimulate and try to reduce the hypertension to the
And
normal healthy
in your
levels.
early kind of pre-trial trials,
Hypertension. Yeah,
you've seen it.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel so bad. I really do because I do sometimes get stress headaches, especially when
mm,
I'm dehydrated from traveling. Like I just got back from El
yeah,
Paso and it's a desert. I did not drink enough water because it was cold and I wasn't thirsty. And then I was on 6 hours of planes yesterday
mm,
and I feel a headache today because I haven't drunk enough water. And so I'm
yeah,
going to use this and I would put it on the pain the pain
yeah.
setting. Wonderful. I could talk all day about this, Pavlos, because it is my job to forge partnerships that benefit nurses. Right now, we're going into hospitals, starting here at Jackson Health in Miami, with programs that improve the health and stress resilience of nurses, prevent burnout, which prevents medical error and improves patient safety. We have this 360-degree solution. We're going to find a way to work this in. Of course, the rings are a really big part of that because you can't change what you can't measure.
Yeah,
And
that is
this
very
allows
important
you to
thing. Yeah,
measure this. So it's a very
yeah.
close relationship. I'm excited to do some more experiments. As we close out, anything you want our nurses to know? Why? Okay, of course, you're the CEO of the company and you want them to buy it because your mission is to reduce anxiety in the world. I love that. You reduce stress, anxiety, diseases caused by this. But what would you tell nurses right now? What would be their most compelling reason to learn about and to purchase and to try Pulsetto? And if they do, how do they get in touch with you? I'll put it up on the screen.
You can always find me on LinkedIn, so it's the
Okay.
easiest way, or you can write to me, Povilas at pulsetto.tech. So the
Okay. I'm
easiest
going to put that
way.
up. Povilas
Yeah,
because there
at
might be
Pul-
people in the middle of
yeah,
research, Pulsetto.tech, right? Let me
yeah,
put it up,
yeah,
make sure I have it right. There it is. Is that
and
it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And what I wanted to say, basically, for the nurses, you're basically like a silent guardian, which usually is forgotten, in my opinion, because when I
Oh.
was working with implantable devices, I see how much stress and how little sometimes, care they get from their own, let's say, colleagues, and how much hours you have to work, and basically you have to be everywhere, and
Mhm.
you forget to take your health into consideration. It's easier to take care of others than yourself, and this is basically the same for also firefighters and etc. So
Mhm.
the
First
shift workers
responders,
are,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
first responders. Usually they are forgotten until everything is good, and
Mhm,
you have to take care
mhm.
of yourself just to do your job best. And
Yeah,
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 this is my message, that don't forget your own well-being.
yeah. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Povilas. This is such a simple, inexpensive device that has huge impact on yourself personally, on your family, on your children, and eventually, I think you'll get to the point where you'll be suggesting this to patients as well.
yeah,
Pavlos, thank
yeah,
you. It's
sure.
been an honor. We'll make sure that you get a copy of this recording and that we get it spread about as much as we can. And once again, if you're right now inspired to get online and get your very own Pulsetto device and get that vagus nerve stimulated in ways that will change your life, go to powerupnursing.com, go to shop, pull down menu. You will see a link for Stress and Pulsetto's, the only ones underneath there. So thank you very much. And we'll be talking again soon. Once
Yeah,
again,
thank you
bye
very much
bye.
for having me. It was a
Of
pleasure.
course. Stay healthy, stay well.